Hi there, this is a quick video just to help you with starting in and then completing your last geography assignment. So obviously the task is going to be on people and economic activity. This is our third assessment task. It's going to be distributed on the 28th and it's going to be due on the Thursday the 2nd of July 2020. Maximum mark is going to be out 50. And it's going to have a total weighting of 20%. Really good chance to get a really good chunk of your final mark. So I just want to go through a bit of the context. So I want you to imagine that you're writing this report for the Prime Minister, and he's asked you to research about the Australian wine industry, and you need to be able to explain to the Prime Minister where and how wine is made in Australia, and then the environmental, social and economic impacts and the future direction of the Australian wine industry. Now, the reason why I'm giving you that context and the reason why it's so important, because your purpose of your writing is going to be a case study report. So you've got to make it short, sharp and very formal, to the point. So that's your purpose. Your audience is going to be someone who knows not much about the Australian wine industry, so you've got to write like you're the expert. So have that in mind while you're completing this. You're going to need to select a wine region in Australia to write about, and I've included some there. So you've got the Hunter Valley, which is just up the road in, sort of just north of Newcastle. You've got the Barossa Valley, which is in South Australia. You've got the Yarra Valley, which is in Victoria, and the Swan River, which is in Western Australia. You can choose any of those. I think there's something like over 100 different wine regions in Australia. So just pick one and focus on that wine region in your work. So here's your little instructions about what you need to do. Obviously your work has got to be completed by the, sorry, I put the second, it should be by the 2nd. It's got to be typed, and I want you to submit it on Google Classroom as well. What you've got to include, there's 5 sections that I like you to do. I want you to include an outline, the background information of viticulture and winemaking in Australia. Viticulture is the actual growing cultivation of grapes to make wine. Winemaking is when we take grapes and then turn it into wine. A brief history and location map of your selected region, and you've only got about 200 words, and that's going to be worth 5 marks. So you're going to have to be quite concise and precise with your writing. Remember your purpose and audience, back in your context. And then I want you to describe how wine is produced in your selected wine region. You may want to use a diagram to help you, but it's not essential. But if you do use a diagram, you've got to be able to refer to it in your writing. Then I want you to describe and evaluate the environmental impacts, the social, cultural impacts, and then the economic impacts on the production of wine. This is the big section. It's worth 20 marks, and it is 700 words in length approximately. So again, you've got a lot to do and get into. You're looking at, roughly around 200 words for each impact. Then you've got to examine the future directions, and what I mean about the future directions, what's going to happen to the wine industry in the future, whether it's in like the wine industry as a whole or your wine region. And then I want you to make suggestions on how to improve the wine production sustainably, and that's about 300 marks, and 300 words worth 10 marks. When you think about that, I want you to think about what the future of wine could be. Is there going to be more technology? Are more people going to drink wine? Is the technology in the wine bottle going to change? All these kinds of things that you can look at. And then finally, you've got to reference your sources in APA style, and I'll be running a little lesson to help you with that. So all in all, worth 50 marks. Make sure you do each section, and by all means submit drafts. If I was you, I'd be submitting one question at a time and then pulling it all together. What I'm looking for, the better task will be obviously be in the form of a case study. So subtitles, you might want to include a title page. Use formal language. Include all elements of the case study which I've just gone through. I want you to use key geographical vocabulary. Use subheadings to organise your report. Make sure you've got your writing is coherent, correct spellings and grammar. So start on those sentences and then obviously build up to a paragraph. You might want to use bullet points, but certainly use paragraphs, and make sure your maps, diagrams that you do use are accurately labelled and referred to in the writing sections of the report. Don't just put pictures, you must refer to them in your writing. And that's what I'm looking for. To help you out, I've obviously got a marking criteria. Make sure you write, well, when you're doing your case, when you're doing your assignment, make sure you use that as well to help you write and refer back to. And then obviously there's your feedback section. I'm going to try and get this all done on Google Classroom. That's why I want you to have it submitted. That marking criteria is going to be on Google Classroom, and so is your feedback. I hope that helps, and yeah, just any questions, an email, or when I see you face to face in the classroom, bring it up. All right, thanks.